This evening, teachers across Guyana are on strike, demanding better salaries and improved working conditions. We'll discuss the union's grievances, the government's stand on the strike's legality, and the ongoing negotiations to resolve the dispute. In crime news, the police are investigating the fatal shooting of a man at a wake in South Rhymefell, Georgetown. We'll provide details on the incident and the status of the police investigation. The deadline for completing the $475 million Cemetery Road project has been extended to March 31, 2024. We'll examine the project's goal, the revised timeline, and the potential impact on traffic congestion and community development. In a heartwarming turn, one man is on a mission to revive a music school in Georgetown as a sanctuary for young minds. We'll explore his journey, the challenges he faced, and how the public can assist in this noble endeavor. Finally, Chile is in mourning following devastating wildfires that have claimed the lives of more than 100 people. The government has declared 2 days of national mourning as fears grow that the death toll could rise further. We'll look at the extent of the fires, the response efforts, and the impact on the affected communities. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for February 5th, 2024. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, teachers across Guyana are on strike as part of the Guyana Teachers Union's planned industrial action, protesting for better salaries and more benefits. Some teachers picketed Ministry of Education buildings in their regions, while others stayed in their classroom but refused to teach. The protest, part of a multi-year agreement proposed by the Guyana Teachers Union in 2020, involves calls for a salary increase and better working conditions. General Secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union, Coretta MacDonald, spoke with reporters as teachers protested outside the Ministry of Education building on Brickdam today.
The Guyana Teachers Union is the only recognized organization in this country to speak on behalf of teachers. And so from 2020 to 2024, we have been languishing. All we receive are imposed salaries. That's all we get from this government. And by now, everybody knows that the PPP, their mandate is to stifle workers in this country. They're anti-working class. And so today our teachers have decided that they would have had enough of that. They can't talk to us, but they're talking to GAU. And they've been talking to GAU. And they've been talking to GAU. And you know, the sexy part of it for them is Coretta MacDonald, MP for the opposition, while you have my colleague C. Paul Narain, who is president of GAU, the Guyana Agricultural Workers Union, and he's a sitting MP in the government. But nobody sees anything wrong with that. But regardless of what they say, our teachers know and our parents know that this strike is not political. Coretta MacDonald, at the end of the day, when you check the books of the Ministry of Education, Coretta MacDonald is being paid as a teacher, not as an MP. Coretta MacDonald is being paid as a teacher, not as an MP. So this wild talk about MP and Coretta agitating for this strike, no, the teachers out here, they got their own minds. And if one woman, Coretta MacDonald, could cause 16,000 teachers to down tools, plus get the ministry officials running wild, then Coretta MacDonald could form her own political party, and I'm sure that I'll have 5 or 6 seats.
The Guyana Teachers Union accuses the Ministry of Education of pulling back on proposed conditions. The government considers the strike illegal, but the union calls for negotiations to address the proposed issues. Corporate bodies have expressed a willingness to assist if teachers face salary deductions due to the illegal strike. This is according to the GTU.
Well, let me say to you, it's not the first time. The PPP government, like I said earlier, they're anti-working class. When we struck against the coalition in 2018, not one teacher lost any monies from their salaries, even though we were on the streets for 9+ days. Not 1 cent was taken from them. But we know how the PPP will operate. And if they decide that they are going to deduct monies from our teachers' salary, let me say to them, that's good news for us, because corporate sponsors out there have already pledged that they will reimburse our teachers. So go ahead, deduct the teachers' money, but you know what you're going to be doing there? You're going to be instilling even more radicalism in our teachers across this country when you deduct their money. If you don't want our teachers to withhold their services, talk to their union.
The government insists that engagements with the Ghana Teachers Union are ongoing, making the strike premature and illegal under current conditions. The legal process involves discussion, negotiations, cancellation, mediation, and arbitration, with the government arguing that the current strike bypasses these steps. In other news, a man was fatally shot at a wake in Georgetown, with his past marked by legal issues, including narcotics charges, coming into focus amid the police investigation. Dale Jarvis has more details.
Police are investigating the fatal shooting of Joseph Wilkinson, known as Dreddy, who lost his life after sustaining gunshot wounds while attending a wake in South Rumville, Georgetown, early on Sunday morning. Reports indicate that the 40-year-old victim was on his phone at National Avenue, South Rumville Park, about 30 minutes past midnight when unknown assailants in a vehicle opened fire, showering him with bullets. Wilkinson, who was reportedly shot 6 times, succumbed to his injuries while receiving medical attention at a private hospital. It is noted that Wilkinson had a history with the law. In September 2021, he faced charges related to possession of narcotics alongside another individual. Wilkinson appeared before Magistrate Clive Nurse at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, denying the charges of possession of narcotics. Wilkinson appeared before Magistrate Clive Nurse at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, denying the charge of possession of 210 kilograms of cannabis for trafficking. Both were remanded to prison. The police are actively investigating the murder. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. The completion deadline for the $475 million Cemetery Road project has been extended, with the Minister of Public Works, Bishop One Edgehill, announcing a new target date of March 31st, 2024. Initially awarded to Avinash Construction and Metalworks Company, the project involves expanding the 2-lane carriageway into 4 lanes, significantly alleviating traffic congestion. The project faced delays due to heavy rainfall and procurement challenges. Despite the initial completion target set for July 2023, the project's execution was prolonged. Minister Edgehill emphasized the commitment to completing the project by the revised deadline. He warned that failure to meet this deadline could result in contract termination, with considerations for awarding it to a dedicated contractor or a special project unit. In addition to expanding Cemetery Road, the comprehensive project includes enhancing Independence Boulevard. This aspect of the project, already completed, involves extending Independence Boulevard into 3 lanes and establishing a recreational promenade. The completed Independence Boulevard has positively impacted residents' lives, increasing property value and enhancing road access and community engagement. Stick around when we return. Passionate visionary to revive music school to transform lives and keep kids off the streets, and taxi driver robbed at gunpoint in Bartica. Police investigation underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to kick off the new year with a bang? Digicel has an offer that'll make your January extra special. Imagine winning up to $1 million in free groceries in Digicel's $6 million groceries extravaganza. Simply top up with $1,000 or more, and you can be one of 6 lucky winners to enjoy the ultimate shopping spree worth $6 million. What are you waiting for? Start topping up today. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl, forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
See clearly with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown, telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Police are investigating an alleged robbery under arms committed on 43-year-old Thakur Hariram, called Ricky, a taxi driver at West Indian Housing Scheme, Bartica, on Sunday, February 4th. Investigations disclosed that around 8:20 p.m., the victim arrived at his residence with a female friend and his son. He parked his car and proceeded to the back of his home. As he was ascending his stairs, the male suspect, who was masked and armed with a firearm, approached and held him at gunpoint. The suspect told Hariram that someone sent him to kill him, but he would not. He ordered Hariram to take off his jewelry and hand them over. Hariram complied and handed over his jewelry and one Samsung cellular phone, all valued at $6 million. The suspect then jumped over the fence and escaped on foot through the backyard. The area was checked for the suspect, who has yet to be apprehended. Investigations continue. In the heart of our bustling city, where the rhythms of life often drowns out the dreams of many, emerges a young visionary on a mission to change the tune for the better. Kelvin Anthony is a passionate and determined individual with a vision to revive a music school that teaches melodies and becomes a sanctuary for young minds, shielding them from the discord of the streets. Anthony started a school in 2022, but had to close the doors to 23 students because of challenges. However, Anthony did not give up, and in January of 2024, he reopened the school.
In 2022, I decided to come up with this idea to help many youths across Guyana for the cause of free, trying to keep them safe from out of any criminal activities such as drugs and others. So I decided to open this music school whereby I share with a lot of youths. I went to a different secondary school and I used to perform for free. And that's how I gained my student. So we started in an AP, a new building on Durban Street, but we had to move. So I recently moved it to South, whereby it's at the Festival City Community Center.
Anthony said the music school aims to keep kids off the streets and out of danger, but anyone with a passion for music is welcome, and it is free of cost.
I want to help a lot of youth. We're going to be teaching vocal, we're going to be teaching guitar, we're going to be teaching drum, and all those is for free. Well, I don't know everything about music, right? But I do know some that I learned from Foundation. I didn't learn a lot from there, but I went on to Guyana National School of Music, whereby I gained a lot from them. But at my music school, it's not just me going to be teaching. I have a piano coach from Nigeria and a guitar coach from Venezuela.
Anthony is seeking assistance from the public to make this music school a success.
So finance, well, I will need a start from the public to help me by donating a piano, a computer, a guitar, and a drum set. And from then, we're going to use some of the students to create a music band, whereby we're going to be making finance from that.
If you are interested in assisting Kelvin Anthony with the Kelvin Anthony Music School or would like to become a student, you can contact Anthony on 637-0450. Don't go away after the break. U.S.-Mexico border tension, political standoff over migrant crossings, and police and protesters clash after Senegal election postponed.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Current smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Not a single bar of service.
Not with us. Digicel officially has the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Ookla, the company behind Speedtest, recognizes Digicel as the network with the best mobile coverage in Guyana. Be it in Aishalton or in Eterimban, we got you covered.
Digicel, the award-winning network for everyone, everywhere.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Chile has declared 2 days of national mourning for the victims of wildfires. More than 100 people have been killed as fires rage in central parts of the country, with fears the death toll could rise further. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports.
It began with what people describe as a sudden downpour of cinders driven by fierce winds. In just minutes, they turned these homes into an inferno. Roxana Mesa tells us everyone on her street is pitching in to clear the rubble, the only thing left of their possessions except for the clothes on their back.
We ran for our lives, helping our elderly neighbors. We all helped, but 3 neighbors died. The heat and the flames were unbearable.
These are the deadliest wildfires in the history of Chile, a country already familiar with natural disasters. Hundreds remain missing, presumed dead. Firefighters continue working day and night to control the fires in the densely populated Valparaíso region. Brigade Chief Josué Jaime, who's been fighting fires for 40 years, says he's convinced they were started deliberately.
They started simultaneously at exactly the same hour in 6 different places when the winds were extremely strong, humidity very low, and the temperatures high, but not enough to ignite a fire on its own. This was no accident.
The government appears to agree and vows to find and punish the culprits. What might have taken minutes to light could take weeks to extinguish.
This may look like a very small fire right now, but this is a pine tree or what's left of it. And the real significant thing is what's underneath, and that is the roots of the tree. They're very deep. They go all the way down here, all the way up there. So when you think you've put out the fire, it can ignite at any moment, unless the firefighters keep coming back and back again to try to extinguish it.
Nestor Mancia lost everything, his car, his home, and his livelihood, an enormous greenhouse for growing and selling exotic plants. Luckily, he was away when it all went up in smoke, unlike his dog, Napoleon, who survived, but just barely.
There had been fires before, up in the hills, but this time, homes were lost, and I've been living here 30 years.
Neighboring countries are offering help, which Chile will need, as reports emerge of new wildfires further south. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, in the Valparaiso region, Chile.
The U.S. Congress is considering a measure that would shut down its southern border with Mexico if the daily average of migrants crossing exceeds 5,000. That's well below the current number of crossings as migrants and asylum seekers from Latin America flee to the U.S. Al Jazeera's Heidi Zucastro reports.
Listen to law enforcement. Follow the law. Follow the law.
Police maintained the peace between a few dozen right-wing anti-migrant protesters.
You swam the river, sweetheart.
And a few dozen border residents who said migrants should be welcomed.
Usually people just want food and water and a clean pair of socks. Sometimes when I find people, they get down on their knees and they ask for God to bless me.
But this wasn't the only standoff in Eagle Pass, Texas on Sunday. Meters away and steps from the U.S. border, Texas Governor Greg Abbott declared his state's opposition to the federal government.
And we are here to send a loud and clear message that we are banding together to fight to ensure that we will be able to maintain our constitutional guarantee that states will be able to defend against any type of imminent danger or an invasion.
Flanked by 14 other Republican governors, Abbott is in open defiance of a U.S. Supreme Court order issued last month, commanding that he stand down Texas National Guard troops who are putting up barbed wire and blocking U.S. Border Patrol agents from removing it. The troops guarding this section of the border report to the governor of the state of Texas, and their mission is to keep everyone out, including the U.S. Border Patrol agents who report to President Biden in Washington. And that has created an absurd standoff between the federal and state governments.
Why on earth would Governor Abbott be doing this? Defying a U.S. Supreme Court order, putting National Guardsmen and Border Patrol agents at odds and potentially in danger, endangering the lives of asylum seekers, calling right-wing militants from all across the country with long guns down to a park that they take over without telling city authorities. I mean, why would you do that?
The Texas governor says a loophole in the U.S. Constitution allows him to take such measures because his state is under, quote, invasion by migrants arriving in record numbers. Democrats call it a political stunt meant to stoke the Republican base. The opposing sides remain at an impasse as tensions rise and divisions harden. Heidi Jo Castro, Al Jazeera, Eagle Pass, Texas.
Finally, opposition candidates in Senegal says they'll appeal President Macky Sall's decree to postpone this month's presidential election. Demonstrators have been holding protests against the decision, the police responding by firing tear gas, and even detaining an opposition presidential candidate. Al Jazeera's Nicholas Haig reports.
Nothing can stop us, says presidential hopeful Anta Ngom. We're exercising our basic right, she adds. We have an appointment with the Senegalese people. Security forces prevent her from meeting party supporters. Then, she's arrested, accused of taking part in an illegal gathering. A masked officer is seen forcing her into a police van. Hours before the start of campaigning on Saturday, President Macky Sall canceled this month's presidential election. He says he's protecting democracy and isn't trying to extend his own term. But his decision is fueling widespread anger. In a district of Dakar named Liberty, protesters showing their defiance. The cancellation of the vote is seen as an injustice. Protesters say once again the powerful are robbing them of the chance to make their own future.
We are in a country where people are mistreated. It's really tough for us. The world needs to understand this. This is a cry from the heart.
I'm a struggling entrepreneur. I have a master's degree. I'm left selling coffee on the streets. There's no work. Jobs are given to those with political connections. We want work. We want to work for our country. Our time has come now.
They're protesting what the opposition is calling a constitutional coup and block an avenue leading to the presidential palace. They're urging others to join their revolt.
There's been running battles between protesters that have been throwing rocks and the police that have been responding by firing tear gas. They want to prevent this gathering to take place, but supporters of the opposition are determined to gather and to get their voices heard.
The West African Regional Organization ECOWAS, the US and France have all expressed concern and urged the announcement of an election date.
You feel that it could burn at any point, and this is not what we deserve, because the people themselves, no religious conflict, no ethnic conflict, but you have localized politician, partisan conflicts, and they threaten to destroy Senegalese social fabric.
What's been regarded as the most stable democracy in West Africa no longer seems so stable. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 30-minute forecast. And that's Safety Week 2 headline news for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.